We're streaming starting. Okay, looks like it's working. Got a title here. We're close enough. I'll go ahead and hit the start broadcast, so I won't like tie you guys up for that. Okay, good deal. And I'll keep an eye on my freezing. I continue to freeze. It's yeah. I found a little button. I don't have to unplug things. I just click this little button and I come back. So it's
nice.
Yeah, very nice.
I need a little button.
It is. Yeah, I like that.
I need one in normal conversation when I go off on a tear. Somebody can push it and I'll snap back to the topic at hand.
Yeah, I don't have that button. I used to have that a while back, but we got rid of that a while back. God dang it. Okay. Well, I think it's a USB connection because it keeps acting like I'm just plugging the USB in. I'll look at that later as well. That's about it. Now it's just John Kern.
Hey. I think we might have a John.
We do. James coming by.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you guys are...
Okay, and I'll bring your volume down to match.
Yes. You guys are
testing.
way too tiny. I need
thank you very much. Can you give me one more?
Okay, this is some more talking.
Okay,
John,
now you're matching Daniel's pretty close.
Close enough?
And I imagine you had to do the same for me.
You sound a lot better this time. I don't know what you've done, but...
Well, I don't hear Daniel yet.
But Tim hears me. Tim, just tell him what I'm saying, Tim. Tell him.
Oh, now I can hear him.
Okay, good deal.
Except now he's frozen.
I know. I'm entering some sort of freezing zone this week, and I have a magic button to unfreeze me. I just need to catch it. Let me make you guys giant first.
I'll crank his volume to 200%.
Yes, yeah. And I got to make sure that I do not have the giant head.
Drop.
He's moving his mouth and I don't hear it.
I got to make sure that I don't have the giant head.
This is how the AWS starts.
That DNS in this case stands for Daniel No Sound.
Yeah. Well, I'm feeling Greg Young's shoes. Greg was a tough act to follow, but I don't know. Greg was on maybe 100 roundups, and I have yet to. His audio, I think, worked once or twice, and it was not much.
Yeah, he was pretty consistent.
Consistently bad. Yeah, we got better because at first when he got his audio started working, and then we got ambient sounds like him going to the bathroom, the water running. It's like, oh, Greg. No, that's not good, Greg. No, but they couldn't hear me, so I don't know why I was saying that. Okay, I'm gonna kick this thing off here. Howdy. My name is Daniel Markham, and you're at the Roundup. If you've never been to a Roundup before, the Roundup is when me and my tech friends get together and talk about news of the week from a technical programming practices standpoint. Anything's allowed. We try to be nice to each other no matter what. There are no rules, and nobody keeps score. This week we have Tim Ottinger and Mr. John Kern. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Okay,
Hey, Daniel.
so everybody can hear one another, and we can all see one another. I think we just stop right now. Like, we got it done. Okay, woo-hoo. Win. Tim, what you been up to this past week or two?
Well, I've been crawling around, cutting holes in things, and that's been fun. And lately been working on a nice Git repository analysis tool.
Ooh. What are you using to do that?
Well, on the outside of it, it's Dash, so it's Plotly and the Dash framework. And then inside of it, it is Git Python and NetworkX and just, general, some pandas.
I don't know pandas. Do not know pandas. You mean?
They're like black and white. They kind of like look like a bear.
And that's
They tumble.
We have
very
the smartass that continues now weighed in.
It's just a data management, data sciencey kind of thing where you can throw incredibly large data sets at it. It's very fast and does calculations and matrix multiplications.
You are aware that the pandas are pretty slow, silly-looking, dumb creatures. I mean, I love the way they look, but they're not the smartest bear.
Pandas are very good at convolving multidimensional matrices, no doubt.
Ooh. I wonder how that relates to R. I've always heard that R is the big thing for that.
I'm thinking about see if I can add a llama to my pandas, because if I can do a llama and a pandas, I can really do stuff.
Yeah,
be careful; they spit.
I took a course on llama programming. Unfortunately, it was involved no llamas at all. Something about functional stuff. It was really sad on the whole thing.
How disappointing.
John, what's been up this past week or two?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just did a nice fall weekend drive up in the Pennsylvania has a Grand Canyon, of course. One of the larger gashes in America, but of course the Grand Canyon being the bigger gash. And then been some messing around on the side with Replit, doing some crazy stuff, which is kind of cool. Combination of trying to figure out best ways to tune a rag, even tune the approach. It's quite intriguing, especially with something like Replit able to kind of take your wishes and turn them into something actionable and visual. It's like having a very competent developer.
Yeah, you were saying that last time we spoke. It was like having a senior developer. I ran into a friend of mine this past week who's developing a completely new system of mathematics.
I hear that.
Not hearing a thing.
I ran into us. Can you hear me now? I don't.
A little bit.
Okay.
You're really filtered.
Really filtered. All right. So I ran into a friend.
Got a little better than you froze.
And went silent.
No, we got.
Oh, there's a syllable.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I will redo my thing here. And here I am.
I can hear your voice.
Okay. We're going to do it this way.
Into a tail.
Yes, this is a dead cat. I ran into a friend, and I'm going to hit the refresh. I ran into a friend this past week who's inventing a completely new system of mathematics, and I kid you not, using AI, and I don't think he's actually creating mathematics. I don't know, to be honest about it. But what I pointed out when we were talking was I have yet to meet anybody who's used AI over a period of time that left unhappy. Everybody seems to be happy after they use it. Very strange.
I think if you give me 8 out of 10 times probably happy and then 2 out of 10 times frustrated beyond human belief.
Yeah,
and even when I'm happy, I'm a little unhappy with it. But even when I'm unhappy with it, I'm a little happy.
Yeah, it's like there's always some little nugget of, that's kind of cool.
It's an interesting. I don't have. How should I put this? Where my mind is jumping faster than I can talk is recollections of some of my early experiments and learning with using computer languages, period. Yes. And, doing things that were pretty spectacular back in the day with some tools that, maybe from a order of magnitude were something like AI compared to prior things I could do. But yeah, it's not all roses or perfection, and for me, the jury will be out until maybe a year from now, or, I have so much breadth of experience with Blazemark, for example,
right.
The firefighting app,
right.
from J2EE to Rails to, migrating it to a newer version of Rails, that, there I've got an established confidence, and know a lot more. So I'm still not there yet, but one of the things I mentioned to my friend about it is I have not gotten to a point of feeling like we've hit a brick wall or an insurmountable problem with the AI. So I'm still on the happy path of, in the hands of a skilled user and possibly even an unskilled user, it's pretty powerful.
Very interesting.
Because I'm sure, Tim, like you've experienced, if you spot it doing some things from a code perspective, you can tell it. And I'll go, oh, yeah, that's a great code review. Thanks, good point.
Yeah.
And so you can like coerce it to not, if it's suddenly you find it duplicating something, especially if you're working with other people and they're asking it to do things. And you kind of look at the code and go, hey, there's 3 instances that look a lot alike. What's up? So anyway.
I think it's really powerful that while I'm working, I'll have this idea and I don't know if it'll work or not. And normally I wouldn't do it because it's going to take 2 or 3 hours out of my day to do it. And it's a pain in the ass. So what I'll do is I'll commit everything, be all lined up, and then I'll say, okay, try this thing, and it'll go do this wildness. And it'll not necessarily do it well, but it will give it a try. It'll be an experiment. And then when it's done, whether it's good or not, I do it, get reset hard, come back into it a new way. I have been a little frustrated with it. It does a good thing. I've got it writing a test whenever it makes a change, and it tests first. And I've got it where it will, when I tell it you need to actually use real data for this, it'll collect the data like I tell it to, possibly curl to pull down the web page to see what it looks like. It'll do these things for me, but it often leaves things behind. So now I'm trying to get my setup so that it knows, it writes a temporary Python program that takes a bunch of data and it feeds it to this graph.
Right. And
it makes sure that the graph is drawn correctly. And then when it's done, it fixes a problem bug that's in there. And instead of having a small test with a tight scope, right, it has this big file and it leaves that one. And then it leaves 3 or 4 other temporary files in the space, bash files and Python files. And it's like, look, dude, we're not done until you clean up. The temporary things have got to go.
Hey, that remodeling, that reorganization.
I've got it writing tests. I've got it doing experiments. The experiments are more valuable than the code assistance.
Yes. But, test architecture. We always talk about test architecture and nobody ever listens to us. So it's like, yes, TDD, yes, BDD. Also, test architecture over like incremental. People just seem to forget that part of it. And organizing your tests helps you organize your design architecture. You got to do test architecture. But having said that, I think we're going to head the way of insurance companies because AI can kick out so much stuff. I think we're just going to have statistical testing.
I have been looking into property-based testing, and it does look like a powerful technique. But I still think that it has a certain non-determinism in it that we'll still need our unit tests and end-to-end tests like we do. And maybe, it does help us write them, although it doesn't always do a great job. It doesn't know what about our code is intended to be permanent and what is going to be edited out all the time. So you have to be very careful. It will lock down with selectors on specific wordings of little pieces. And it's like, no. I don't want to have to rewrite the tests when I change the title, on a button.
Right.
I just want the button to work. And then it goes, okay, boop, 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 and it changes it all around. You have to stay on it to not lock down temporary and impermanent changes.
One of the things I had to do when I learned functional programming was the function name is the thing. And everything under the function name is sort of scaffolding in place until you get it right. And so instead of like trying to get the perfect function code inside, I realized I had to just sort of forgive myself, write mutable code, iterative code, whatever the heck I can do to get it working, and then figure out how to make it functional code. And that's what Tim's talking about, because if you view the function from the outside, it's the button. It's not a great button, it's not a new button, it's just button. But that's a little difficult to convey, I guess. I don't know. We'll get to that.
I call that this what you just described, Daniel, like sneaking up on the answer of how to sort of get yourself to a point where now I finally got it. And it could be messy leading up to it. And Tim, yeah, you remind me of some of my experience retrofitting Cucumber to existing code. And, suddenly, wow, this is really shitty. You don't have any IDs for your damn buttons. And now I got to use text and I got to do this. And yeah, and I also coerced Replit to say, hey, I want to use a BDD style. Oh, okay. Well, I can do this, that, and the other thing. Cool. So yeah, knowing what we know, you can sort of force the AI to behave in a certain way that it might not. I mean, probably doesn't choose to do on its own.
Yeah,
but that's kind of cool that you can begin to give it some standards.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is you would still use TDD. Yeah, okay, just so I'm clear on this. I'm not talking about writing bad code. You would still test first. The test would identify the function and success criteria.
Why does the audio cut out?
The test would identify the success criteria of the function. Can you hear that? No.
Daniel's mouth has been he's punching the dead cat.
So how about now? Any good? Yes, no?
So yeah, I've been in, since he's busy.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I've got kind of a fun thing I did is I know a bit about how to use Network X, but I was having trouble getting what I wanted in the graph. And it's an affinity graphing where it's measured how often things are committed together, right? And there's a weighting on it. So if I commit these two files together, each one of them has half a commit's worth of affinity for the other.
Okay. I think I might guess where you're headed with this.
Yeah, so if I have 100 files, you get 100th of a commit's worth added onto that. And then if those two files are in 50, then you get, 1/25th of a... So it adds them all together and then it groups them. So you can see the groups of things that tend to be edited together, which is fun. But I wasn't sure which of the Network X algorithms to use for that. Because it's got a number of ways to do, groups and communities and neighborhoods and things. And I'm not a graph database expert. I'm not, into graph theory that far that I've read up on all these. So it was really nice that it recommended one. And I let it do the experiment. And boy, it duplicated a buttload of code that already exists that I need to thin out. But the experiment came out, and where I'd been struggling also to figure out, where do I set the minimum affinity, right, if I want it to actually make good groups? And I fought with that, and the AI said, I'll make a slider for the affinity so you can choose. And I thought, well, that's obviously the right thing to do.
That's
you
amazing.
move the slider until it looks right. I should have thought of that to begin with, but I didn't, and so that was a recommendation. It was very helpful.
So I would like to offer that we table this. Can you hear me? First one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's table this till the third item because I have some AI stuff that I've been doing, and it would just take the rest of the thing. All right. So Katrina had a reading day where we all met at her house, which happens to be beside a cemetery, and we went to the cemetery and read scary books all day. It was very nice. And of course, I spent a week or two being grandpa, which I think is the most awesome job ever. And assign me for that. Let's keep going. The first one is AW outage programming. So anybody got an idea why this happened? I read the first bit that Tim said. It looked like they had a race condition. Tell me if I'm wrong. A race condition setting their DNS up because they used their DNS to get to their DNS. And so when you make a mistake controlling the thing that you make mistakes with, you never come back. Hey, James.
Hi, James.
Is that basically what happened, guys? Or
Yeah, I think what similar to Grok and what was the one you used? Something with a P, Tim. But yeah, the perplexity. Yeah, it looks like the root was the gizmos underneath the covers for the Dynamo database to spool up on the fly. Somehow the got into a race condition of being able to spool something up so whatever was using it could get the IP, but something was too close to maybe to make sure that it was right, and then they just started into some fierce, of course, race condition type.
I read an interesting comment on Hacker News that
took the funny thing is it not only took the thing down, but as it seemed like it started to, when EC2 was trying to restart, it just overloaded that because everything wanted to come online. It tried to I don't know, it seemed like a tiny needle in a haystack got triggered that just ripped the place apart.
I read a comment on Hacker News that was talking about security credentials, and what was it? They used US East to run the security service. Yeah, you know where this is going, okay? And then the other region went down, and they couldn't get back to US East, so now it was a circular condition. They could not get into their own system anymore.
Your voice came back.
Yeah, so it's easy to create a circular condition that you read about it on.
His voice doesn't work.
It turns out his microphone is fine. It's his actual voice.
Yeah, I actually have forgotten how to speak. Okay, so can you hear me now? I'm going to stand very still.
Yes.
Yeah, James, what Tim and I both did was, you know how when you right click on each of our faces, you can change the unique volume per person? So we cranked Dan to 200% and we lowered each other to something that's not blaring.
All right.
Yeah. Dan speaking from, I don't know, the caves beneath Azerbaijan or something.
Yeah, I got him at 200% too.
Oh, wow.
I have you 200%, and I have you all down to like 25 maybe.
Wow. Wow.
It's about right.
Okay, so just tell me if you can start hearing me or not, because I don't know.
I can hear you now.
Yep.
All right, so easy to enter circular race condition. On Hacker News, they talked about how they set up their credentialing system on US East, but they used it for everywhere, and then once US East went down, they couldn't get in the other systems because now they have their credential system. They tried to go back to US East to fix it, but they can't get in there either because they don't have a credential system. I see this with people doing DNS to control the blue-green deployment and things like that, and it's really, really cool, but you can't eat your own dog food. You can't like create a circle of using your own services to use your services. It doesn't work that way. Did that come out?
Yes. Yes. I heard all of it.
Yeah, I'm just going to be quiet now. I'm okay.
You're going to turn the other guys down now.
Okay, so this was very, very interesting. I'm guessing tens of billions of dollars impact, you guys. I mean, it was just incredible, the amount of money that was lost. And the weird thing is that we're seeing services go down that claim to have nothing to do with AWS. And that's rather odd. Why would a service that doesn't use AWS stop working? It may be the registrars using AWS for the DNS namespace stuff. It could be a bunch of different reasons, but it's like, whoa, there's a lot of impact going on. And everybody and their brother goes through US East. It's like the cool place. It's amazing.
I've got my stuff there. Wingman is there, but I didn't have any problem at all.
I did not either.
Yeah, what I heard was it's because like same blaze marks on there, no issues whatsoever. It's because we don't have anything dynamic, if I had to guess.
Yes.
We're not like dynamic. They were spooling up serverless keyless like Dynamo databases, and that was the primary thing. So like Duolingo, I couldn't do my Spanish, but luckily I went to the status page. And I tweeted this because I thought it was pretty humorous. Like, woohoo! They actually listed on their status page something like, but don't worry, nobody's streaks will be in danger, because, I have a streak going on, which is like, I don't know, what is my streak? So it was pretty funny because that's all people on Duolingo care about. It's
On Wordle?
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, Wordle was affected too, but yeah.
They took Wordle from us.
Streak is 2,079 days.
John, you brought up a good point that if you're going to scale anything dynamically, you're probably going to have to use some sort of dynamic DNS system to do that. So, I mean, you take down the DNS, you take down the scalability. It's amazing things you can break by breaking DNS.
And it's also one of the magical things that makes the internet the internet.
I love you Kubernetes guys, but I hope you learned a good lesson by this. Probably you didn't, but I hope you did. I feel like I'm in a Lassie show. You see, Tim, you don't fall down the well all the time. The dog will not always get you. You probably don't need the ability to scale to 1,000 servers if you can just put one in and have it work all the time. I'm just saying. All right.
Are you trying to take us back to the unclouding of the world? People starting to in-house their apps again?
I don't understand why everything we touch, every dang thing we touch has to become like a PhD project.
Gone again.
Everything we touch has to become like a PhD project. It's like everything is, why am I here? Can you hear me? Why is it coming and going? That's the weird thing.
It is the weird thing. It's because we're talking about DNS.
I'm going to start raising my hand. So everything we touch, like, turns into a PhD project for some reason, and it's a property of us. Like, these things don't have to be this complicated, but they are. I've read articles like, how to set up your tic-tac-toe game using auto-scaling Kubernetes. It's like, oh my, what? But I need to write something. How to stop yourself from doing stupid shit, but stupid stuff, sir. Amazing.
Yeah, as long as your audio setup isn't too complicated, you can say that.
Yes, I'm that guy. John, you're right. I'm the guy, man.
You might be.
I not only wrote the book on keeping things simple, I'm the first guy to overcomplicate it. I'm the thought leader in making things too complicated. Good point. So the next article is, what is that? The Ancient Comments on Leading Service Architecture, which I love essays that challenge me.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I thought about this was it's hard not to wonder if it's hindsight's 2020. But when they describe some of their their goal for like some insane API access, let's say non-functional requirement.
Oh yeah, this was incredible. Yeah.
Why? Like I could see prototyping something and this is an easy way to test it, and then maybe we'll get off of it once we prove that somebody actually wants to buy our services. But it was a little astounding. Like, wait, you have such stringent hopes for an insane lack of latency, and you went to, it'd be like me expecting a Lambda server thing to just always be there, or I don't know. I don't know enough about it, and they're smarter than I am probably, but the more I read, the more I'm thinking, why did you ever think this would work given what you needed?
So James, is the best way to keep our latency low to add a bunch of network connections?
Yeah, network hops.
You need some circular buffers. So
Yes, James. That was
I
directed.
don't know. Probably not.
I find these
that
articles
is right.
interesting because I come in thinking, hey, prove me wrong. I'm probably a moron. So I'm here.
Yeah.
Show me I'm wrong. Here, show me I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
it just went.
And I come in saying, show me I'm wrong. God, I'm getting it out.
I remember. I remember. Oh, I heard that. Oh, that was something else. Okay,
Yeah, we should maybe make a duck quack every time his audio dies.
that would work. I was working with a company who was doing basically foreign exchange type. How should I say it? When folks wager on the foreign exchange trading, like the differences between currencies, that whole world.
Arbitrage.
Foreign exchange trading. they had a system designed to run over phone line type things. And they wanted to add a new product. And the only way they could think to add a new product was to duplicate the code base and write it, just do it again. Because they couldn't figure out how this was written, or so, so they knew they were in trouble with that. At least somebody was smart enough to go, I don't think that's how we should do this. And so we ended up getting a gig to help them. And I remember one of the craziest requirements, I mean, it makes perfect sense, is nobody around the world can have any advantage due to network hops.
Oh, yeah.
The actual bid, everything needs to be hitting everybody's terminal at the exact same time. I think they were in all but maybe 3 time zones, I forget. Something pretty cool. And yeah, so something like this would be a non-starter to even think about it. So anyway,
I read
that popped into my head of, if you knew you needed this level of rigor, why did you even go there? Oh no, Daniel's he thinks we can hear him, but we can't.
Okay, so I'm looking at my little green light. The green light comes on, you can hear me. I read articles about speed of light stuff, where like the optical cable length can be like a competitive advantage between one trader and another.
Right, they couldn't allow that. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So I love this kind of article because first off, it challenges what I think is correct or not. So I'm like, oh, cool. Come in and tell me I'm wrong, because service architecture is basically just give me a file, here's your file, go back to the server and ask it for stuff when you need it. That's about as simple as it can get. It really doesn't depend on whether you use Go or not. It's just you're using somebody else's server to do stuff for you, except for files, which you're having delivered over the web. And they used their own server and got really slow. So that's bad. What I usually find with these articles is that there's some place in the article where they jump over the thing that they're trying to do, and usually it's like they like grab a big stack of stuff and think it's the same as something else, and then they realize, hey, this doesn't work, and they throw the whole stack away, go, okay, I just need to do this other thing. I have a feeling that this is what's going on here. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, right there was the line. They were trying to build a sub 10 millisecond API.
It's just amazing.
I mean, yeah, I guess for me, finding those high risk items is crucial.
That's like flight simulator territory.
Right. I think that's part of what helped shape my way of thinking. Is part of it is the holistic view that an aeronautical engineer has to have, because you can't. There's no free lunch. As the saying goes, if you want to fly higher, okay, am I going to go slower or carry less, or nothing's free. And also the flight simulation, real-time flight simulation, helped teach me that, a lot of times there's the one thing that matters that you better figure out soon.
Yes.
As soon as possible. Like, this is a huge risk, because if this doesn't work, then all the other cool things you might do might not ever see the light of day, because you didn't do the one most crucial thing.
I think
How long does it take when you guys do a ping? Ping Google or AWS, how long does yours take? I get about a 13, 12 to 13, 10 to 15 is a normal range for me in milliseconds.
12 milliseconds here.
19, 15.
What was yours, James?
Mine was averaging about 12.
Seems like, if you're going to think about things on the web, then you're going to think about really high performance, a ping.
12 milliseconds. You got 30. He's got a budget of 30. The next article will be how we replaced all of our web services with a box under Joe's desk.
Like the good old days.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I think that what I took away from this is response times, if they're critical, are just like CI/CD pipelines. You'd better set those dang tests up before you even start coding, because you don't know what you're going to do to screw it up. And so if your CI/CD pipeline isn't working, you're not working. If your response time is broken, you're not working. It's like a hard stop.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Identifying those risks that if you can't do this, one thing, nothing else matters. Yeah. And now I don't know, maybe you can get to sub 10 milliseconds if it's on the same, I don't even know the right phrase, the same backplane. I heard people use words like that. But
Bus, backplane, whatever.
yeah, so maybe they mean something, somewhere else on the server to server type thing, but still,
Segment.
yeah.
Push it to the edge computing. Yeah, you're getting almost back to the point where, I don't know if you guys did assembly or machine coding, but you're counting the cycles in machine coding. This is a store function. It takes 3 cycles, and you're kind of reaching that level of figuring things out. You can do it, but that's a lot.
It is.
I'm pretty sure James and I have both done quite a few millisecond budget kinds of things, and probably the rest of you as well. The thing I thought was the most standout element in the articles, they started talking about how when it didn't quite do what they wanted, they added more infrastructure, and then when that didn't work, they added more infrastructure, and that snowballing
Yes.
infrastructure to fix the infrastructure.
Yes.
I think that's a great, sales thing. Hey, listen, if you're having trouble, then add a Redis, and if the Redis isn't working, then add a memcached in front of it. If that doesn't work, try putting a read-only database, a read model database behind the Redis, and if that doesn't work, try upgrading the CPU on your. You could probably sell stuff all month with that.
It's like, I can't implement Agile XP. Well, what you need is a fancy tool with 40,000 fields on it. Oh, that'd be $10 million. Well, you really need a team of people. You end up with like a circus of people and programs, and nobody's doing what they're doing. They're just doing things the old way, using this circus. The circus comes along with everybody else.
Yeah, I forget. Was it the Monty Python, like The Meaning of Life, or Life of the one where they're in the operating room and the woman gets pushed in and they're all in there and they love the machines that goes bing, and it's like, oh, where's the patient? They kind of they lost the plot, but they have all these machines and equipment, and the hospital administrator loves hearing the machine go ding. Yeah.
I read aviation accidents where 2 professional multi-thousand-hour pilots in a jet, clear air, visibility unlimited, flew into the side of a mountain. And they were playing with the stuff inside the cockpit, trying to get all the little switches working and everything.
Yeah, that's how the airliner went down to the Everglades 25 years ago, or whatever, that Delta 11. You're fiddling around with the light.
So this next story I claim to know nothing about, except for the fact that it keeps popping up over and over again. And there's, just like that fusion story, there is something here. Quantum sensing. So as I generally understand it, you can use the Heisenberg's uncertainty process and quantum wave theory to measure things at a sub-level than you normally could by using statistics. And I don't know anything more than that, but I think you send 2 entangled photons here or there, blah, blah, blah. But it's like they figured out how, it used to be you couldn't image something with a wave that was bigger than the thing because you'd knock it out of place. But now I think they figured their way around that. And if that's true, that's going to be a big deal, big deal.
It's either true or it's Chinese communist propaganda.
Yeah, I first I really thought it was propaganda because it's like stealth will exist no more. And then we saw it with telescopes.
Right, so stop wasting your money on that because you've got us beat.
And the weird thing, John, is that we don't talk about it. I think the really strange thing is I see it other places, but the United States, that we don't talk about that. We don't say it's stupid. We'll file a patent, a Navy Chief Technology Office file a patent for anti-gravity drive, but we won't talk about quantum sensing. So my spidey senses tell me there's something going on here.
Yeah, it was a bizarre article. Yeah, it's crazy. Just like that trillion frame per second
Yes.
imager that could capture like a photon traveling.
It's a very similar concept because you don't really take a picture as much as you take a statistical sampling of what the picture might be, and you can still pull the signal out. You can see a photon by seeing a billion photons and just sort of doing an average.
Sorry, if they don't have it, it certainly is a wise thing for a country to tell all the aggressor nations around it that there's no point in their stealth. We can see right through it. Don't bother building it anymore.
I've always been uncomfortable with stealth because it always seems to me like it's like magic that it works, and like once it stops working, it's like, holy cow, what do we spend all this money on?
Well, the first stealth bomber was the Mosquito, the de Havilland Mosquito.
Did not know that.
was wood.
Yeah.
That was stealth?
Yeah.
That was like what, 65, 70, 1970?
World War II, 1940s, 50s.
Okay, that goes back even further.
Walter Wood and cloth.
What was it like? Wood?
Basically, it didn't show up with the radar. They had to control it by radio, talk to people on radio. They couldn't see it until it was just dead on top of them.
One of my favorite stories is when Pearl Harbor happened, they were just installing radar in Honolulu, and they saw all the ships and planes coming, and the guy was like, "Oh, this radar acts up all the time like this. We got to get it fixed." And they actually saw the attack happening, and they didn't believe it was happening.
Not enough testing. Not enough familiarity yet.
Well, why would it happen? There was no declared war.
No, you turn your radar off and back on until the Japanese planes disappear from the sky. So the next article is my imaginary team. And every now and then I will enter into a project that kind of pulls me from my sleep at 3 a.m. because it's interesting. And this happened this morning. I'm just going to really quick. 3 or 4 years ago, I started on my third book about how organizations learn. And that was a big bite. Couldn't finish it because it's just a heck of a bunch of stuff. But it did come up with a model for different types of conversations people might have in a project management group or team group that will help the organization learn and develop technology. And I just left it there. And it's been sitting there. I'm happy. I didn't anticipate ever picking it up again. But it occurred to me with AI's tremendous ability to bullshit me, I could actually create like little artificial characters for each of my model type of conversations and then have them interact. And by gummity, you can. And it's becoming quite interesting. I had to sort of turn off all the praising part because I was getting lost, how awesome I was for people, my little imaginary people, and then turn that off, and then I gave it some experts for each of the areas to look at their work of books to look at so they would know. And then the AI started quoting experts and books, like as Donald Knuth said in his, as if, I'm supposed to be impressed by the book. I'm like, just stop that too. I don't care. And it's getting to the point where I think about 5 to 10% of the fluff I'm getting back is useful for solving my problem, which is an order of magnitude improvement over like the regular internet. So it's worth pursuing. For instance, I got to the point today, I'm like, you guys are agreeing with me far too much. I know I can't be right all the time. And the response was, well, what percentage of time should we disagree with you? Yeah, I get that. I get that because it doesn't really understand anything. To it, it's just like you go half and half, like random roll of dice. So yeah, that was quite fascinating. So I'm still playing with it. I'll let you guys know how it works, but it's doing a lot of things I wouldn't have expected it to do, which is good.
Trying to figure out what to do with the whole multi-agent thing and having teams. I'm being told that it works really nicely, that you can actually have multiple agents, some reviewing the code as others are coding,
Yeah.
as others are considering the design, as others are doing, and others are running the tests and checking the tests and process. I've not tried to do a swarm because, well, it's expensive as heck anyway. I'm already spending money, to have credits on my LLMs, and I'm not, I'm frugal. I know, I am cheap. I don't like spending things,
Me too.
especially repeated spending every month. I just hate it. So I'm not, going with the absolute premium platinum plans on everything. So I'm going to run out every month. That's part of my plan. and then that way it can't de-skill me too much because I have to be able to pick up and keep running. But I haven't looked into the whole swarm thing and how fast does that burn through credits, and does it really help you have your imaginary team? Daniel, are you doing things like that?
Yeah, I can tell you my general, I got really ambitious because it really doesn't matter if it fails, and I was just playing around. Like I said, it kind of sucked me in. The general idea was create a text file or a set of text files that would describe these 8 different roles or types of conversations, and have the AI assume each of these roles, and then have it create a diary so that it will freeze the conversation in a spot where I can rerun it later or change personalities in the middle of the problem solving. So can I have it act like a team and also like have a pause button? And that's a general idea. I believe you can, and so I don't know. It's just really weird. My process right now for disagreement is I made all my personalities really nice people, and I think about halfway through the problem solving exercise, I'm going to replace them with a bunch of bozo heads who are like, ugly, and so that they can tell me I'm wrong. Maybe I should put them in first. I don't know. But I'm trying to do stateless. So stateless was very important to me because I wanted to take it to other agents for Tim's right here. So I actually don't spend much at all because I'm using Grok and I pay $10 a month or something. But we'll see. I had to do a lot of work to just tell it to stop telling me how awesome I was. And I think I've kind of got there. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Yeah, John Turley, he and I just happened to look for it. This was back in January of 2021. We were messing around with some more organizational dynamics and the fact that people show up with kind of a different, what you might call a motivational orientation. Do you, given the same input to the 4 of us, would we, treat it autonomously or be more, command and control, just go do it, or, think differently? What kind of power do we have?
Yeah.
And then another aspect around kind of complexity, the ability to think about things from multiple perspectives and things like that.
This morning I added in personalities. And what I did was I took the job description and I found fictional characters that illustrated those job descriptions. I said, don't give me the content that they would say, but if you want to add some color to your character by using something they might say, you can maybe put a sentence in your reply. And the idea is to put enough random information in there that kind of prompt people for thinking of stuff they didn't normally think of. So I know one of my fictional characters is Mary Poppins is one of them, and I don't know if I want to work with her or not. I'll just be honest about it, because I can't sing that good, and I don't want to fly with the umbrella. I don't know.
Well, hold on. Is it the Disney Mary Poppins or the book Mary Poppins?
Ooh,
Because either one of them might have different problems.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I just thought it was funny that when I finally put the experts in, I'm like, hey, use these 3 or 4 experts to do your work, and here's your goals, and here's how you work with everybody else. And they immediately started quoting books and chapters and like trying to impress me with their knowledge of these experts. I'm like, no, just stop. No, I don't. Because they got it from the internet. So I guess when the LLM goes out on the internet to find these,
You can also, we've been experimenting with, you can ask the AI, from action logics and conversational action logics, from the way people make their meaning. You can either ask them to dumb it down and be like just an expert and very, squarehead, or be, no, right? Like I want you to be post-conventional, be kind of out there and be way more expansive in the way you make your meaning. So that, it's interesting because you can play around with that kind of.
and the underlying theory here is that there's no,
smart that way about.
the theory here is that we're not going to get a single answer by working with a single agent and just telling it to think harder. That's the premise I'm working under, that to get AI to work better, we're going to have to give it different things, different motivations or something like that, and then have them interact in such a way that we would learn from that interaction. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that to me makes sense.
Yes, it's pretty impressive to see that they, like, the AI can change. You can, like, if you give it rules, it's probably going to come back with a very expert approach. If you can have it actually come back with a more expansive approach, like, but you have to kind of, I don't want to say coerce it, but set it up, like, if you want to have much more open.
Yeah, but I think that the point is that it's the interesting part of learning stuff is figuring out where different experts disagree with one another. Maybe a better way of putting that. And you're going, oh, he says this, and you say that, and you guys are looking at it from different angles. And you like, it's like, okay, fight. Yeah, I don't really want to fight, but make your case and let me think about this over a period of time.
An interesting part of Replit is there's like a plan mode, so we might be asking it to do something new, to build something new, or if I'm spotting something that I wanted to refactor, there's this part of its cycle where it goes, now I'm going to ask the architect, and then it goes off and asks
the architect
architectural questions. So it's kind of doing a little bit. It was kind of funny, like, okay, yeah, see what the architect says. Whoever that is.
Yeah, he's the guy, the Matrix. He's that guy in the white suit in the room with all the TVs and everything.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it's interesting that it even acknowledges, sort of that realm of, well, let's, before I go do this thing, let's see.
Yeah, but did it really search the architect? I mean, the thing is like, it said I'm going to go ask the architect, right? So, like, what does that mean? It's like me saying, could you disagree with me more, and it's saying, well, how often do you want me to disagree with you? It's like, it doesn't understand whether I'm right or wrong. It can just disagree with me 50% of the time if I need that. It's not, it doesn't know the veracity of what I'm talking about or what we're discussing. It just is able to take various positions using the LLM model. I think my eventual goal, and this will never happen because I may just abandon this in another week or two, but my really cool goal would be a video conferencing team of 8 team members, all of which look like people, all of which are AI, and we can work on various problems over a period of months or whatever, and they can pick up where they left off, and I don't have to pay them anything. So, I mean, it's a win-win, the idea.
Yeah.
We'll see. You gotta think big. If you're gonna fail, try to fail on interstellar travel, and then you'll make a pretty good go-kart. So it works out okay.
At least got to the end of the driveway.
Yeah.
That's on the way to the launch pad, which is.
I will say this, however, because this is I want to make this point, and this is the point I made to my friend. Nobody has an interaction with AI where the AI says, I think you're full of crap. That's completely wrong. AI is always like, well, it is a great idea. Maybe squares can be circles. And, that's wonderful that we all leave an AI session feeling nice. But, I mean, there's a small step from there to like, I have conquered the known universe because the AI completely agrees with this very complex thing that I don't understand myself. And you really got to be careful. I mean, I can see a lot of people going down a rabbit hole with that.
Well, don't forget the bromide poisoning case whenever that comes up.
What was that?
What was that?
So somebody went to the AI and they said they were trying to cut down on salt and what would be a nice replacement.
Like
Oh
a
my.
saltwater tank in your
In your food.
Yeah.
And it recommended sodium bromide, and it was the first recorded case of bromide poisoning in probably 50 years.
Yeah, potassium's a salt. You could eat raw potassium would be kind of fun.
chloride.
So, okay, Sue Media, James, have you been reading any books or anything you'd like to share?
No, been selling house,
Oh, wow.
house, sell house, move house,
Oh boy.
then
My-
leave, then go to Florida.
My father-in-law is doing the same thing. He's 80 years old, and dang if he's not packing his house up and moving to a new house. It's just, wow.
Yeah, I hope I'm not doing that when I'm 80. Bad enough doing it when I'm 71. I did see a pretty cool, watch a pretty good movie on my last flight. Well, I didn't watch it from the flight, but what was it? Let me see what the name of it was. It was like something like House Full of Dynamite.
Ooh, I haven't seen that yet. It looked good.
It's about potential end of, civilization, nuclear war, and from the perspective of several different people. I won't spoil it by saying too much, but it keeps you on the edge. And well, if you watch it, we can talk about the ending sometime.
Yes, I definitely want to watch. It's on my list because I watched The Day After. There's a couple been really good movies. Of course, it's Dr. Strangelove was one of the first ones. It's good stuff.
That's all. Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Mr. John, books, movies.
Oh, the book.
We have a demo. Upgrade.
Upgrade.
Let me get it.
I can't read anything besides upgrade, but that looks pretty cool.
Building your capacity for complexity.
Yeah. So this is more of a human upgrade. Yeah, it has to do with kind of the way you make your meaning, the vertical development, not not learning Ruby.
Yeah, please tell us how. That sounds like something I'd love to read.
Along the lines of what you're talking about, Daniel. Yeah, this talks about the different kind of what you might want your AI friends to excel, aspire to.
I'm kind of lucky because I actually built my model of interaction, like I said, 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm lucky because I'm not just going in fresh. Because if I were going fresh, it would be filling me so full of like egotistical. Oh my God, I'm just so awesome that it would just be a mess. It wouldn't be worth anything at all.
The cover of that book made me look like it's a multitasking book.
It
You
does.
need to be a multitasker.
Well, it has to do with helping people, individuals and teams deal with complexity in VUCA. So part of it is, are you able to, to sustain the multiple potential perspectives, right? Because a lot of folks in leadership positions are not capable
No.
of dealing with complexity.
Yes. And they're not aware of that. They won't admit it to themselves.
Right, and and it's one of those things that it's a little bit like if you understand the Agile Manifesto, you probably don't need it.
Yes.
a lot of people don't grok it, so to speak. And it's a little bit like that where now you can improve you can improve the way you make your meaning, and you can learn. That's why it's called upgrade. You can work on certain aspects of it to be able to deal. So I think from a simple point of view, there's kind of like 4 capacities that they're talking about. Sense making, which humans have tremendous. We take in all kinds of input, but being able to observe, understand, and process the complexity of a situation to get your head around it. Perspective shifting is being able to zoom out to benefit from a more realistic and multifaceted understanding of the situation. Self-relating, observing, understanding, and regulating yourself, making sense of your own reactions.
Right.
A lot of times, we don't show up so well sometimes in these situations. And then the opposable thinking, another really important one, being able to respond to the dilemmas and conflicting ideas that can create tensions within us or between us and other people.
Feels a bit Knepin or Six Thinking Hats. I'm reminded of Knepin and Six Thinking Hats and a few other books along that line. It's
Yeah, there's a lot of parallels, and this is based on just decades of it talks about like even Hart Hill's leadership development framework, But yeah,
Mhm.
this is the action logics from Bill Torward and company. I think he just died recently. So it's not a fly by night concept.
No, no.
And yeah, there's lots of things in there that will harken to other things we've all run across.
I had a heck of a hard time doing this learning thing several years back, and one of the reasons why is like you're trying to describe the thing that you're trying to describe.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you can get into an endless loop pretty quick. Here's the to-do list on how to make to-do lists, and you never come back from that. But you have to somehow do it. People have to learn how to learn. That's probably the most important thing they can learn.
Yeah, absolutely one of the most important things. Yeah.
Tim, have I asked you yet? I haven't asked you yet.
You didn't ask me yet. That's okay. So, on watching, by the way, I'm in the middle of the monster movie month. So I've got probably 25 1950s sci-fi and
Oh,
horror
yes.
movies under my
My man, yes,
Wow.
yes.
So it's been a good month. Have you ever seen The Magnetic Monster, by the way?
No, man. Oh, I gotta find that. Oh, this is on the list.
Magnetic Monster, because it's not an alien, and it's not a subterranean creep, and it's not caused by atomic radiation. It's basically an element that they created in a lab that's the monster. It's very interesting. It's very different from other sci-fi monster horror movies.
Oh, I like this. Oh boy, I'm in. I'm in. Put me in the game, coach. I'm gonna watch this tonight, I think.
Oh, nice. 5.8. I love it.
Yeah.
It's very different. It may not be your cup of tea, but it's still a fun watch. So that's been a big part of it. And lately I've been doing an awful, strangely enough. So Consensus, I got caught up on Consensus because it's an
Yeah.
AI search engine that goes over published peer-reviewed papers. So it's a research assistant. And if I go there and I ask questions about, on research things, it will go and find me all kinds of papers on the topic, and it will actually tell me, no, that's not true. That is not.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Well, I like it.
3 out of 50 papers said yes, the rest said no. All these things. So I've been reading quite a bit of things with that because I went to consensus.app, I think. And I said, what is the relationship between overtime and productivity? Because everybody's talking about 996, that whole work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, and the reason people are talking about it is because China's been doing it illegally. And so a bunch of tech bros in Silicon Valley are like, oh, we have to do that so we can keep up with it.
It sounds more macho than we gotta do it that way. Yeah.
It pretty much says, no, actually, if you try to do continuous long hours, it degrades your quality, it degrades your productivity, you make a lot of errors, it burns your people out, it's unsustainable from health reasons, and it's illegal in almost every country other than the U.S.
So it's a good idea then. We're gonna count that for like a vote of confidence from town.
And it's illegal
There's a
in China.
consensus on that.
Yeah, we have a consensus on that. Yeah, when I started this team project, I was like, I am not going to sit down and like just spin off into the computer. Instead, I'm going to do a little bit, go away for a day or two, think about it, come back.
I think a lot of it depends on what kind of work you're doing.
Yeah,
Right.
really important work. You just can't bulldoze your way through.
996, like,
Yeah, if you're doing something important, it's
I
not.
couldn't.
Well, but
I'd be dead.
But for if you need to innovate and be creative, and you can't force that. You can't. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Luckily I haven't heard this 996 thing. It sounds silly.
Yeah, I'd heard a little bit about it. Somebody was afraid it was going to happen in the U.S. And then
Sounds stupid.
when I was at Huawei, before I knew that they were the evil power in China, when I was there, I don't know, it was 15 years ago or so. They didn't call it that, but that's what they were doing. They had sent me the proposal of, hey, here's what your day's going to be like. I said, no, I don't work till 9 o'clock at night. Not working on Saturday. But they had sent me this thing saying, here's what we're going to do. And it's just, no, I'm not going to be doing that. I work, these hours and, blah, 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 blah.
When I got in the Marines, I worked at a factory making night vision goggles 7 days a week.
But that
They
might
also
have
take
been,
they take Mao's nap also. There.
Mouse nap.
So after lunch, the lights all shut off in the whole place. I was the only person awake that they said, "Oh, you should go take a nap now." It's like, if I take a nap now, you're not going to be able to get me up. Because I'm out of my time zone. So I went and just entertained myself during those hours. But they would pull out their sleeping bags and stuff out front of their desk and lay down for an hour, put on their masks. You know,
Korea and Japan are also really bad about this.
You know, they don't get up and get back to work. And I leave at 5, but they'd still be there for hours.
Yeah, I was going to say Korea and Japan do this all the time.
Show on this. I was just telling you about some things I was reading. The other thing, though, is I'm reading Naming. It's a nice book. Tom Benner, I think, wrote it.
Naming.
And it's because I'm also writing a very, very small book about naming classes and variables and things.
Oh, I like
Mine
this
is
too.
going to be like maybe 5 chapters. It might be 100 pages. I'm intentionally making it small so I can make it cheap so people can have it.
Who wrote this?
So Tom Benner, I think, is the one who wrote
Dinner?
the naming book that I'm reading. And by the way, he and I don't disagree on much, so I could recommend his book.
D-N-N-E-R, is that correct? Am I spelling that correctly?
B as in Bravo.
B-E-N-N-E-R, so Bravo, Echo, November, Echo, Romeo.
Okay, bravo. I missed, okay.
So yeah, it's quite nice. It has a big yellow cover. There you go, that's the one. Pretty good.
Naming's
And it's got a lot of examples. Mine's going to be different because I have some different nuances and angles to come at it. So where his is a lot of good advice, this is going to be like my Vim book. It's like how to understand doing it.
Right.
As opposed to, here, follow these rules.
Yeah.
So do you have a good name for it yet?
No, I'm looking
Name.
for one.
How about what's in a name?
What's my name? You can just call it what? What's the title of your book? It is, that's right.
Given the book. It's not a good name unless it's a good name for the audience. It's not
Okay.
up to the author to know exactly what to call everything. If I'm in a code base, the people in the code base are the ones that need to approve the name. If it's good for them and makes their job easier, it's good. So now I have to figure out how to make the web search easy.
Been down this road, Tim. You're going the right way, son. It's good. It's all about the audience because you're trying to bring them to a point that you previously agreed on. That's the goal.
I'll just say what I write about names is I use the problem domain, like what the actual people we're building something for, whether it's insurance or you name it. So that's my first go-to. Is we're going to use the real names they use and talk about. I want to see, so that when they look at stuff we do, their world comes out loud and clear. So they, the class names, the table names, everything we do looks like their world.
I like table 17. I think this table should be named table 17. That's my favorite. And I have table 18, table 27. You think I'm joking? I've worked with, this is the name of some tables I've worked with.
So I've got a thing in my refactoring class about naming, and it's stolen directly from Tim Ottinger. And, so it's, and the attributes, of course. But then one thing was a talking point is like the order that you have them in. You had choose solution domain names, and then the next one was you choose problem domain names. And I don't know if they were intended to be in order, but it gave me something to talk about, because I would, per John, reverse it and I'd want to feature the problem domain.
I tell you something we used to do
I
was
don't know if that was just an ordering thing.
you can generalize it. If you have
Anything about priority, or
contention, you can generalize the term. Can you agree on the general term?
So the thought was, if I'm writing for programmers, and it's a queue, or a deck, or a linked list, or whatever, then maybe there is a word that all the programmers who come in are going to completely understand. But when we're talking about domain stuff, that's a whole different game, right? So when I'm in the solution domain, below the waterline of the problem domain, I'm going to use programming terms that programmers know. Then when I'm above that line, that's not my trial balance isn't a programmer concept. That's a domain concept for accounting.
yeah.
So that was my idea, was that, you use the words for where you're working.
Did you ever see Kevin Henny's little talk on this, where he shows the word cloud from 2 code bases? And the one word cloud had all the domain names, and it's like, well, what do you think this program's about? And the other word cloud was all pattern names and all this other stuff. There'd be no way in hell to find out what the second program was about, except that computer nerds wrote it.
Naming is the toughest thing. It's even tougher than caching invalidation. They're wrong. Naming is the toughest thing in programming.
No, that's why we probably need yet another book about it. So we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, since I became poor, I'm pretty good at cache invalidation, so I'm sticking with that. Tim, I have a lot of comments on what you just said, but I'm going to skip all of them.
Probably.
I'm on a juggernaut of watching horror movies. Melissa's pre-chosen, quick stack of DVDs and movies. But there's much argument in my house because I want a man in a rubber suit. And I want like some scientist people wearing those little coats and everything. And she actually wants to watch good movies. I just don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. So, of course, that's what we've been watching, good movies. Let me say goodbye, guys.
Yeah, it's fun to see some of those 50s, like the Blob and things like that.
Yeah, the Blob was a comment. Blob was both the guy in a rubber suit and good. Okay, so that's it for the roundup. Thanks for dropping by. I'm Daniel Markham. We're here all week. There's a duck on this page here. See the duck? Click the duck. Love the duck. The duck is your friend. If you scan the duck, you will come to the Discord. You're welcome to join in and have fun. We'll see you on the internet. Thanks, guys. I'm sorry we ran over. It's my fault. I apologize. There's a duck. The duck
A
makes
little
your
bit in the front where we're doing the audio stuff. So.
Ooh, I like that. That's good.
Well, thank you all. I'm gonna be up because my wife would like to have supper sometime. It's about it's only a little after 6. It's not that bad. We keep shifting time.
Those periods between.
Oh yeah, we've got a time change next weekend.
Off and we don't. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Right.
we're in that.
Ship is coming
Good to
up.
see you, James. Good luck with everything.
Much.
Yeah, sorry to not have been around for like months, but that wasn't my intention. But,
No, we understood.
I'm home not thinking we were moving, and then,
Oh, really?
How do you not know if you're moving or not?
Hey, me, because I don't know when my visa is going to come through, if I'm going to have to vacate the country or not.
you still need me to
Oh,
run.
you want? Oh my God, Tim's one of those illegal
I
aliens.
think that this all being handled by my new employer, and they're eager to get started, so they're expediting my visa stuff so that they can have me here.
Okay.
So I
Yeah,
think
I'm
I'm
sorry.
covered for now, but we may still do it. If they don't give me the visa I want, if they give me a different one, then I'll have a number of years to go and get the one I really want, and that will take a bunch of letters and a campaign.
All right, cool.
I found Canada oddly enough was tough for me. And you figure Canadians are like nice people, but no, not so much.
No, they're not. That's just a rumor. That's a rumor, unsubstantiated.
So one last thing. Last week I talked about
Nice guy.
this. I wanted to bring this up to John and Tim. There's an online tool for arguing, and I said it was so good that I don't use it because people never argue because you just got to reach a consensus. So it's called Kialo if you're interested. Very cool tool for disagree.
Can you post a link to that into our general or off topic or somewhere?
We'll do that for sure. Got it. All right. Catch you guys later.
All right, see you.
We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
All right. So let me cut this off here. We are no longer. Thank you guys. This will be the end of the podcast. And this is the end of the recording.